Hey dear, Zumzi here, and in case you haven't figured out by now, I have forever been a big old nerd, and I love learning about history and literature, so I really love dark academia as a genre. I can connect with it. It's I love it. So within the past 2 months or so, I have read several dark academia books that I want to talk about and share with you, and don't worry, I'll keep this spoiler free. Okay, the first one I just had to get in hardcover because look at it, it's gorgeous. I love the dark purple gothic flowers. It's so me, it's so up my alley, so I really wanted to read it. So this one is A Lesson in Vengeance, and it follows Felicity Morrow, who goes to the Dalloway School. However, she is grieving the loss of her girlfriend. Her girlfriend died in this tragic accident. Some people believe that Felicity was the one who killed her girlfriend. However, Felicity feels like she's haunted, she's cursed by these witches who were killed at the school, and everyone's kind of afraid of her, except for the new transfer student Ellis, who is very logical. You can think of her like Scully. She's like, hey, ghosts and superstitions aren't real. I'll prove it to you. So we are going to try to solve the murder of the witch. Well, it's actually witches. There's multiple witches that were killed at that school by kind of methodologically trying to reenact their deaths. So things start kind of escalating and getting dangerous for the two of them, and they kind of have this toxic relationship going on, which I am all for. I kind of wanted it almost to get into Killing Eve or Hannibal territory, I was hoping, but I feel like it kind of decided to be safe, and it wrapped up really quickly at the end. So for me, there were issues with pacing. For the first 2/3, it's basically Felicity as an unreliable narrator, trying to figure out, is she out of her mind? Or are there actual supernatural occurrences going on? So I do like the mystery component of it. I just wish that we got more into the juicy relationship between the two of them, because that felt really cut short and doesn't really fully develop until the end. Okay, the next one is actually a dark academia comic, and this one is Eros and Psyche by Maria Lovett, and it follows Sarah, who's invited to this all-girls boarding school called The Rose, and there she meets this beautiful girl named Celia, and the two of them start forming this relationship that blossoms into something else. And meanwhile, Sarah is trying to unravel the secrets of The Rose, because it seems like weird things are going on there. I'm going to be honest with you on this one. There is not much of a plot to this one. It feels more like an art house film or a Pinterest mood board with just lesbians frolicking in fields or lounging around in the forest. It is a mood, it is a beautiful comic. There's just not so much plot there. Okay, the next one is The Latinist by Mark Prinz, and this one follows this respected classics professor who may be sabotaging his favorite student, Tessa, so that she's not hired by any university besides his own. And just to clarify, she's in a graduate program. However, when she makes a landmark discovery on her own, he feels threatened. He feels like his control over her is slipping, so he begins to become desperate, and there's this cat and mouse game almost between the two of them, and it's, I would say, probably almost a mix between a domestic thriller and dark academia, and there's twists and turns, and it's so addicting, and I enjoyed it. However, I think for me, my main issue was the pacing in the beginning, because it would alternate between timelines really quickly towards the beginning, and I was trying to figure out what scene are we continuing. So the beginning for me at first was a tad confusing, but it gets better as it goes on. And I do want to point out that this is a modern retelling of the myth of Apollo and Daphne, because Greek gods were incredibly horny and chased after anything that moved, basically. So the story goes that Apollo chases after this beautiful nymph who wants nothing to do with him, so she turns into a tree, and this story kind of, the Latinist, it kind of incorporates that myth as well, so there's these parallels between the two stories, and it's just really clever thematically, and I loved that part of it. It's funny though that I saw one review complain that there's like too much mythology in here, and I'm not sure exactly what they were expecting. Like, were they expecting this to be a story about geology? I don't know. It's called The Latinist, and it has Apollo and Daphne on the cover, so that's what you're getting. If you want that, I think you'll enjoy it. Last but not least, we have Vita Nostra, and this story follows Sasha, who's coerced by like this Matrix-looking glasses guy to attend this hardcore Russian magic school. And there she's like forced to memorize nonsensical passages and do these bizarre mental exercises. And if the students fail there, their family members are killed. And also, if they mess up, there's really dangerous consequences, like they could go blind or they could become paralyzed. And meanwhile, while Sasha is trying to study and survive this school, she notices that she's undergoing this metamorphosis inside and out. And oh boy, this is like a mind-blowing book. I was blown away. This was my final book of the year, and what a book to end on, because like, I'm almost speechless how good it is. But this book goes into like Plato's cave and metaphysics, and I joked on my Goodreads review that this is an accurate depiction of what it's like to study metaphysics in college minus the threats to your family. But it stretches your brain out and does things to it. So this book is an experience, and I cannot recommend it enough if you just want to go on a mind-bending trip. Yeah. All right, those are all like the dark academia books I've read sort of recently over the past 2 months. If you have any recommendations for dark academia books or like mind-blowing books that like blew you away and changed the way you think, let me know down below in the comments. Take care, everyone. See ya.